Yep, that's me, and this is how I looked experiencing some of the most insane plot twists ever. So if you're looking for games to make you say what the f***, then you've come to the right place. Let's have a look at 7 JRPGs with plot twists so crazy that you question your whole existence. Obviously, I haven't played every JRPG on the planet, so let me know your favorite plot twists in the comments. Oh, and one very obvious thing before we start. There will be spoilers, so you've been warned. If you haven't played Trails in the Sky, it's still very likely you've heard one thing about it, and that is that this is kind of a slow burn, but that ending. And yeah, that ending is awesome because it leaves us with a massive cliffhanger that is so genius because of one simple trick. What's so great about this plot twist is that there is so much foreshadowing throughout the whole game. I mean, it even starts in the very first minute, and all the foreshadowing isn't even subtle at all. From the beginning you know that there is more to learn about Joshua, something that happened in his past. And here's what's so genius about this twist. Joshua's dark past isn't the only part of the plot twist. The foreshadowing directs all of your attention to Joshua and his past, but the revelation of Professor Alba as a wise man, a member of Ouroboros, and the fact that he manipulated Joshua's mind so that he can spy on Estelle's father Castius without him realizing, is so unexpected. The revelation, however, of course leads to the next twist, because now Joshua knows. He now thinks of himself as a threat to Estelle and everyone he loves, and leaves Estelle. And if this wouldn't already be enough to absolutely leave you an emotional wreck, Estelle and Joshua finally kiss for the first time, making this farewell even more heartbreaking because while Estelle finally got what she wanted, this is only a short and fleeting moment. That not only completely destroyed Estelle, but me as a player. So yeah, this plot twist hits really hard because as a player, you are misled into believing Joshua's past is the only thing that will be revealed. But this multi-layered plot twist is definitely unexpected and shocks pretty much everyone who experiences it. At least, that's what happened to me. While Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch looks cute and all, don't let yourself get fooled by that, because this story hits hard. One reason for that is the multiple plot twists that I absolutely didn't see coming. It's been a little while since Ni no Kuni came out, so here's a quick reminder of what's important. Oliver loses his mother Allie in the beginning of the game, gets transported in a fantastical world full of magic, and learns that every person in this foreign world has a soulmate in his world. In order to save his mother, he has to save the great sage Alicia because, turns out, they're soulmates. But then there's the White Witch who wants to destroy the world, and she has this powerful wizard named Shadar to help her. And then there's this girl named Pia who helps Oliver figure out some stuff on his journey, but she only appears in his world, not the magical world. So for the majority of the game, Oliver and his friend's goal is to defeat Shadar because they believe he's the ultimate evil and standing in the way to help Alicia. But then there comes the plot twist. They completely surprised me. Shadar is Oliver's soulmate. The ultimate good is linked to the ultimate evil. I mean, that was a shock. But wait, that's not all. Shadar's story is more tragic because he has been corrupted and was once a kind-hearted soldier named Lucien. Further into the game, the next plot twist awaits because, shocker, Pia, the girl who helped Oliver, turns out to be the manifestation of the White Witch's childhood innocence. Basically her good side, which she cast off centuries ago after accidentally destroying her kingdom with a forbidden spell. Also pretty tragic stuff. But the most heartbreaking plot twist of them all is that Oliver's mother, Allie, and the great sage Alicia aren't soulmates after all. They're the same person. Alicia just traveled in time and lived under the name of Allie. And that means Oliver won't be able to bring his mother back. Oh man, just talking about this again just gave me goosebumps. Yeah, Ni no Kuni has some crazy plot twists, and they're definitely a couple of my favorites in JRPGs. The Xenoblade series is with without a doubt one of the best JRPG series, and one big reason for that are the brilliant stories. The very first Xenoblade Chronicles lays some insane groundwork with a story full of twists. And while there are a couple we can talk about, I specifically want to highlight the ending that left me watching at the stream mouth wide open. A bit like I'm watching you hitting that subscribe button because you're enjoying this video so much and don't want to miss any future videos. Thanks, by the way. Okay, so one major plot twist is that the Mechons aren't mindless robots like we all thought. No, they're actually piloted by HOMs, which raises some very complicated ethical questions in the mid-game. Crazy twist, sure, but that's not the one I want to talk about. The final twist recontextualizes the entire world as a failed science experiment. Ages ago, two scientists named Klaus and Galea tried to create a new universe. The experiment failed, which actually destroyed the whole original universe and created a new universe in which Bionis and Mechanics eventually formed. Then, however, the true identity of Alvis is revealed, and turns out he's the AI that ran the failed experiment, which essentially makes him the true god of the world. What I love about this particular plot twist is the scale, the fact that every being in the universe was affected by what happened. But I also love how completely unexpected it is, and that the fantasy world I spent 90 hours in is actually connected to the world we all live in. My mind was blown. Haha, yes, I'm serious. I love the plot twist in Stars till the end of time. I know a lot of people absolutely hate it, and I honestly understand that, but still, I think it's great. So, quick recap. The protagonist Fate is on vacation, gets separated from his parents due to an attack by the Vendini, crash lands on an underdeveloped planet, and is then trying to get back to his parents. A lot happens, and pretty late into the game you learn that Fate was created by his father in a lab as a weapon, hence his special powers that are shown a couple of times during the story. That is a twist, but not what I'm talking about. Later, the group finds out something so monumental that this basically changes the events of the entire series. The world the characters live in is a simulation created by a highly advanced 4D civilization. The mere fact that they're aware of that makes them anomalies to the creator Luther. So he threatens to destroy the Milky Way area in the simulation. Yeah, pretty straightforward to be honest, but unexpected and big, that I was completely blown away by this twist as a teenager. What's so cool about this is that this twist comes in the beginning of the last quarter of the game, giving you plenty of time to deal with it and also bringing the characters into the real world, meeting their creator and everything. People often argue that this twist makes everything that happens obsolete, but I don't see it that way. The whole point is that Fate and his allies decide to defeat the creator because their emotions are real. They don't see themselves as characters in a simulation. They are real. So everything that happens so far stays important. Everything they've been through together formed their relationships and their emotions. It shaped them as characters, their personalities. Yes, it's meta, but that's what I love about it, and in my opinion, that whole twist doesn't make everything that happened or happens in future games obsolete for the very same reason. I really love that plot twist. The story of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a masterpiece, thanks to its beautifully written characters, and most importantly, its complex and mind-blowing plot twists. Now, while the twists are mind-blowing, it's not the twists themselves that impress me the most, but how meta the moral conflict gets, and the question that ending raises. Finding out that the world the characters live in is nothing but a fiction created on a canvas by Eileen, the mother of the Desandra family, at the end of Act 2 is shocking. And devastating, to be honest, as the revelation of the past of the Desandra family is nothing but sad. Eileen, aka the Paintress, is grieving as she lost her son Verso in a fire because he saved his sister Alicia, who appears as Mael, an idolized version of herself in the canvas. So the canvas, this fake world, only exists for Eileen to create a place where her son lives and her daughter doesn't suffer from the consequences of the fire. Renoir, Alicia's father, isn't a big fan of denying what happened to the family and wants to destroy the canvas. And at the end, Versa understands that. He agrees that this lie is not the way to deal with the tragedy. At the very end of the game, you get a choice though. Fight Versa with Mael and embrace the lie, just to live a fake life with everyone she loves in one place, which will eventually end up in Mael losing her mind and identity because keeping the canvas alive will corrupt her. Or fight Mael with Verso and follow the path of Renoir, which is destroying the canvas and finally dealing with the tragedy. So why is this such a great plot twist? Because it's so meta. No matter how you decide, either fiction or reality, in the end it's you, the player, who decides. It's the exact same situation as in the game. We can judge Mael for not being able to let go and wanting to live in a fake world, as she shouldn't have the power to decide of the fate of so many people, yet that's exactly what we do, no matter how we choose. As players, we have more power over the situation. We decide if there's fake or reality. That was my favorite part of this twist, and one reason why this story will be so memorable. Just like most of the games on this list, Metaphor ReFantazio comes with multiple twists that are all mind-blowing. As you probably remember, the game starts with the assassination of the king and the prince being cursed, making him fall into a coma he can't wake up from. In search of a new king, the grand tournament starts, making its winner the new king. Obviously, the protagonist joins, because becoming the king increases the chance of saving the prince, his childhood friend. The first plot twist that completely came out of nowhere for me was the true identity of the protagonist, Will. He is revealed to be the true vessel or manifestation of the prince's will, effectively making them one in the same in terms of purpose and power. That means Will was just a mere vessel for the prince. That also results in this cool new look where the hair and eye colors change, representing the true appearance of this prince. I mean, I wasn't expecting that, and I absolutely loved it. Another twist that hit me like a truck was that the world is not some random fantasy world, but rather a post-apocalyptic version of our world. The monsters referred to as humans in-game are the remnants of ancient humanity destroyed by their own overwhelming anxiety and desire for power. And then there is the last twist at the end, where it's revealed that the world the characters live in is just a piece of fiction, a fantasy created by the author Moore, the man who helped you understand archetypes. Oh, and he turns out to be the manifestation of the king, basically making him Will's father. You then get to decide to continue to live in the fantasy or accept reality and leave the fiction you lived in. Again, this was something so unexpected and mind-blowing that I couldn't believe what I experienced. Since the real world, the world we live in, is the utopia for the characters in Metaphor, that highlights how we often overlook the same issues like racism that the game world struggles with. It also gets really meta because you are no longer just a player escaping into a game. You are an inhabitant of a fantasy that the characters are desperately trying to build. And I didn't even mention the fact that in the beginning of the game, you get to enter your name. Not the name of the protagonist, that comes later, but your name. This suggests that the player is an observer or a creator whose belief and will provide the power for the characters to manifest their archetypes. The core message is that fantasy is not fake. It is a catalyst for reality. I mean, that's some meta stuff going on there, and I absolutely loved everything about it. While some of the plot twists on this list impress me with their universal scale, it's the mix of something grand and intimate that fascinates me about the plot twists in Final Fantasy X. The first shocking reveal that really surprised me was that Sin is jacked. The protagonist's father is the main villain. Mind-blowing. Well, at least that's what we think. We later learned that Jack served as the final Aeon to defeat Sin, and became it in the process. Pretty sad fate if you ask me. What knocked me out the most though was the reveal that the whole pilgrimage ends with Yuna's inevitable sacrifice. This one hits so hard because everyone knows except Tidus. He's not from this world, so he never suspected anything. And since we as players are new to this world, this is the first time we hear this too. When I first saw this, I felt like Tidus. Betrayed, powerless, and helpless. Man, I'll never forget that. Of course, Final Fantasy X has more in store for us. Contrary to our belief that Tidus traveled 1,000 years into the future when he was sucked in by sin, it turns out that he is actually just a dream. The real Zanarkand was destroyed during a war against Bevel. The survivors became Faith, dreaming of a new, bustling version of their Zanarkand to preserve their home. Tidus, along with all citizens of Dream Zanarkand, is a dream entity. When the Faith stopped dreaming, upon defeating Yu Yevon, Tidus ceases to exist. Oh, and speaking of Yu Yevon, the maces of Yevon are all undead. They use the religion of Yevon to control Spira, hiding the truth about the cycle of sin while benefiting from the power dynamic. The group learns that instead of defeating sin, their main goal should be to stop the cycle by defeating Yu Yevon, even though that this means the Faith won't be dreaming anymore and Tidus will cease to exist. Oh man, what an incredibly well-written story, and the twist in Final Fantasy X just hits so hard. Especially because the base, the main goal of the group, changes so much. Tidus learns that Yuna will die while performing the final Aeon, does everything to stop that, and later becomes the one who dies in favor of a whole civilization. This is peak writing, and this will always be one of my favorite plot twists in any media. That's it, my favorite plot twist. If you want to tell me your favorite plot twist in the comments, feel free to do that, but please try to name the game first before revealing the twist, because then we all have a chance to not read your comment and avoid spoilers. Thank you. Oh, and plot twist, you don't have to stop listening to my voice. You can just subscribe and click on the next video. That way I just keep talking and talking. Isn't that great? Alright, thanks so much for watching, have a great day, and until next time.